So today I've got a video for you. It's replacing these 306 wishbone bushes and just the ball joint down here. You've got to do this because the non-genuine ones have a habit of snapping here. I'm not going to do the P-bush today. This one's had new P-bush probably 3,000–4,000 miles ago. These are Picasso P-bushes, in case you're asking. You can get them online fairly cheap. I use them, they're a bit stiffer and they tend to last a bit longer. I also use genuine ones or motor equipped ones, they're pretty much the same. But this is just how to do these two bushes here and just the ball joint down here. The first thing you want to do is going to get the centre out of the rubber. Now these ones are pretty gone, so you should be able to just flick them out with a screwdriver or a punch and the rubber will come out both sides. I'll just show you that. So this leaves a metal sleeve in here. Let focus, god damn it! That's close enough. So it leaves a metal bit in there. That's just the old rubber. The other one that's a bit harder to come out sometimes, you just punch straight through the centre in there and that'll pop out the bottom here. So as you can see, this one was quite well bonded still. You need these out of the way. Basically what I like to do is I like to either chisel them where the centre meets out. Sometimes that works. If that doesn't work, I like to cut them through with a hacksaw blade, get a bit of leverage in there, then chisel them out. Right, as you can see, these are starting to come out a bit. So what we do is to chisel in sort of at that angle. You feel for the ridge and then you basically hit it. I'll see if we'll get a video of me doing it. I can't guarantee it, just on the basis that, well, my camera's pretty crap and I've got no one here to film it. And then you go, as long as you can see, you go in from the other side like this, you go down, you'll get a better angle. So you go in from the other side like this, you go down and you chisel the other one out. Sorry, we had a bit of a camera malfunction there, just on the basis that my toolbox weren't holding it up. So you get the chisel, okay, it goes in like that, you actually see the ridge now. Down like that sort of angle and knock it out, and that will come out this side, the other one, because there's two separate bushes. So what you end up with is one of those, which is not going to focus. There you go, one of those. Clean up in here, a bit of sandpaper, make sure it's all nice and smooth. But you'll have basically the metal outside of your bush. These are the inserts of the bit we're replacing. So as I was saying, make sure you've got a nice replacement. Mine are the better quality ones you can buy. You can buy genuine ones. Anything that's generally really cheap I would keep away from, just on the basis that the job's a bit of an arse. You don't want to be doing it twice. I'll just show you how to get this into here, because you can't just hammer it. If you hammer it, you'll damage it and then there's an issue. So this is how I do it. I make myself a puller. I know, it's basically, this one's just a head bolt. It's got a crank pulley washer on, which I'm aware most people don't have line about, but a big washer will do it. And then it's got a couple of hub nuts just to space it and keep the pressure even. So what I do is I smother this in grease. I've got a tub. It says it is blue. Anyway, back to the realm of sanity where I'm not a child. Put that in there, nip that down, and it'll pull it in. So yeah, this is it set up. You could, in theory, use the correct size nut for this, like most normal people would. But my Torx bits are buried somewhere in this workshop, and I had a pair of mole grips. Got a ratchet spanner on this end, and you just basically turn it. And what that will do is it will draw this bush in as you're doing it. Just got to make sure that the bush goes in nice and square. See if I can get a. So as you push it down, it puts pressure on it slowly, and it draws that bush in, and that's the way to do it. So focus this time, because I've got my assistant holding it, so I can actually show you. this is held steady, and then you pull it in, and that should pull in nice and straight. As you can see, that's going in fairly easy. Plenty of lube. I was always told you never have enough lubrication. I'm aware my wife is standing next to me, and fingers crossed she agrees. And you see as the grease is starting to go up, you know it's coming to the end. You'll feel when it gets tight because you won't be able to move it anymore. Right. So that's now in, it's nice and tight. And then what you do is you swear that you've left your ratchet spanner on there the wrong way, and then go and find an open-ended and whiz it off. So as you can see, the bushes are now in. You can see that there's no gap between, it's a bit hard to see on the camera, there's no gap between there and there's no gap between here. It is just the blue grease that's left over. A lot better than the old ones. We'll move on to this now. This is fairly simple. I'll just walk you through it quick. So ball joint replacement is nice and simple on these. It's the 3 here. If your ball joint is riveted onto this arm, it's not a genuine one. I've never seen a genuine one riveted on there, so I'd advise then just changing it to a genuine arm, or find a couple of scrap ones like I've got down here. Yeah, so again, you never have enough lube. We've been through this, but honestly people, it's true. So bolts out, and then you literally pull it. I mean, it's really self-explanatory. Make note of what way it comes off, because some idiot once put one on the wrong way and then had to change it over. And yes, it was me, I was that idiot, and it was a few years ago now. I'm not proud of it. So these 3 obviously have to dart up nice and tight. The ball joint side buy are generally, I try and keep to the better quality ones. I say try and keep, I've used cheap ones before, but I really wouldn't, they just go quickly. They supply them with these bolts. They're got a higher tensile than standard bolts. Don't put standard ones in there because it's not good. The only other thing that I will say on these is because it's a 306, they come with 2 size ball joints. They come with an 18mm shank on here and a 16mm. Phase 1 and 2 tend to be 16 and phase 3 tend to be 18, but obviously being Peugeot, they did swap them to and from depending on what they felt like. So all I always do is get the old ball joint and I just check it up like that to check it's the same size. Got a pair of verniers, great, but I don't have a set here. Visually check it's okay, you'll be able to see the difference. So it's just literally whiz these bolts up and then back on the car. So all bolted up, ready to go. Smash it back on the car. I'd advise doing both sides, as in near side and off side. If you're going to do one side, just on the basis that what will happen is your steering wheel will go like that. Because you're basically renewing bushes that are worn on the other side. So I would do both. If not, I would definitely get your tracking done. This is it for today. Jobs are good and she's all done. So I'm not too good at this whole selfie thing. It's not really my cup of tea, but as you can see, the lights and stuff aren't really working for me, and I'm an ugly motherfucker. But basically, you can't see what I'm looking at. I've got an upcoming project that I'm doing for a friend. It's a 205. We're taking the 1800 out, we're putting the 1.9 turbo diesel in. I'll give it a small mild tune while it's in. I've got a whole video coming for that soon. That's the car we've just done the old suspension bushes on, I think we'll call them. As you can see, there's another one sitting in the corner there. That's my other daily. But fingers crossed, Joe will be up here soon. We'll get everything done, and I'll have another video out for you. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be my first big video I've done. So subscribe, tune in, and enjoy.